telling you to do what you are doing is that you shall ask whatsoever you wish, and it shall be granted unto you. But we are faced with a lot of challenges where a lot of people do not get information from the Word of God any longer. This man said, that woman said, this wife said, is what is propelling the church in taking the wrong decision. The mother of Jesus at the wedding in Canaan, he said, whatsoever he tells you to do, do it. Marriages are going through a difficult state today because our wives are not listening to what God is saying concerning that marriage. And also the men also are not listening to what God would have them do. The church is not growing in the same unifying wisdom because we are not listening to what God would have us do, but rather what God did in another church. And if we are going to keep listening to people, then His word is not abiding in us. Brothers and sisters, in this short time that I have to share this word with us, I want to ask you, who are you listening to? If you have been listening to a man, you are simply a slave to the last man that spoke with you. I'll say it again so that you can understand that the church is where it is today because God is not the one speaking to so many of us. I'm not talking about the minister here. I strongly believe that the Bible says that the steps of the righteous are ordered by God. I'm ordered here to share this word, and so I believe that this is the tabernacle of God. So, who are we listening to? Is God still speaking to us? God still speaks. The question is, are we listening? God still speaks. Are we listening? And I want to close the curtain by letting us know that God wants to constantly speak to us. He wants to use you. Look at someone and say, God wants to use you.
God wants to use you.
Say it loud. Say, God wants to use you.
Wants to use
God wants to use you to affect this city. God wants to use you to affect this generation. The Bible says that the earnest expectation of the creation is waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. If you abide in Him and His words abide in you, what comes out of your mouth will be what He asks you to say. In Genesis chapter 1, the Bible says in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the surface of the earth. And God said, let there be light. Look at what God did. God did not say what He saw. God said what He wanted to see. If His word is in you, what will come out of your mouth will be what God wants you to say. But if you are saying words that are contrary to His voice, then you pay the bills. You are responsible for different things that you go through. May I say this? God can only finance His project. He cannot finance what you have projected yourself. If you are God's project, He will finance you. In one of my crusades in the city of Bogota in Germany, we had to pray for a woman's picture who had arthritis and partial blindness. We prayed, and the power of God came down and healed that woman. And from that time till date, because of that miracle, every of my international trip, the bills are paid because God healed a woman whose son is a doctor, and He said, henceforth, you will never have to buy any ticket internationally to preach the gospel. I will be there to buy the tickets for you. Amen. Till date, over 8 years still counting. If God sent you, He will supply your needs. If you send yourself, you will suffer. So let God abide in you. In that project, listen to God. God, should I take this step? It is not archaic. It is not in the past. You still find out from God if this project is what He wants you to go into. Every business can be flourishing here for other people. If you try it, it can boomerang because it never asks you to get into that business. How attentive are you in listening to God? Do you hear God before you do what you do? Do you hear God before you go into one course? You say, you know, a lot of people will tell you in this state today, oh, computer is everything. Get into do a computer course, then you'll be making money. It's not everybody that should be there. What would God have you do? As I close with this, there is a message for this church. And if we listen to the set man in this place, God always furnished His word in the life of the set man. If you listen to him very well, you will not miss the projection of God for your life. But the reason why a lot of people are walking like the prodigal son is because inside of God's vision, they are carving out their vision. And that is why you are breaking away from churches. I beg of you, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, abide in Him. And let His word abide in you.
Amen. At
that time, whatever you ask from Him, it shall be granted unto you.
Amen.
I want to thank Pastor Unamdi for connecting me with your pastor. God bless you. See you again.